Okay, guys, I'm having some second thoughts on the new Fusion change system. Basically, the opportunity to get our hands on fusions where we may have missed out on previously. Maybe we weren't playing. Maybe you just missed a fusion. Well, they're bringing them back. It's official, right? So they're going to be tiered out, and they're going to cost either 1 or 2 or 3 tokens based on the power of the champions. We'll watch this in like double time just to reacquaint ourselves. I also want to answer a lot of the questions that you guys had in the comments about the whole new fusion system in and of itself. Now, in and of itself, I think that it's really cool they're bringing back old fusions, right? Because there's no doubt about it. Champions like Wixwell and Newt and Armand and Fabian and heck, there's a lot of others as well can really change what you're able to do in your account. And hey, there's a lot of underwhelming fusions as well. So you have the opportunity, especially after a year or maybe 2 years of playing. I mean, we're going to be collecting these tokens regardless, right? So I'm sure there will be a day where I'm like, yeah, this is it. I'm going to go after this old fusion that I missed. And I'm probably going to be excited about it as well. So I don't want to just sit here and say that the idea sucks. It doesn't suck. But the system, like I said, now that it's more than 10 minutes after the video went live, we didn't get any heads up as creators. We just saw the YouTube video as you guys did. I have to say that I can't help but to think about what could have been. And honestly, although I like that they're doing this and I'll take what I can get to some extent, I don't like this system. And there's a few reasons as to why. And I think it's important to make this video because I was pretty gung-ho about, yeah, fusions in the initial video. And I think it's important to consider all the factors before you do make your decisions over the next, coming months and years in Raid Shadow Legends. So let's quickly watch the video. Time and a half speed. It's only like a minute long. Here we go.
We're working on allowing you to change your current fusion champion with another champion that featured in a previous fusion or fragment event. Let's break down how it will work. First,
okay, so basically there's fuse Granite Doorkeep and get 1 token. So you don't have to sacrifice any champions, okay, when you use your fusion tokens, right? You don't go for the actual fusion that's live. You can just change the champion. All the epics and rares and stuff, they remain the same, okay? But we just change the champion that we get as the ultimate reward. Now, here's the first problem that I have already, right? You don't get the champion that's on the fusion, right? So this is obviously pretty intuitive. If it was a Granite Fusion and I changed the champion and I spent my tokens, well, there's nothing that would, like obviously this is an extreme situation, but I might just pull Granite the next week, right? And then I passed up on a Fusion champion. Moreover, you're passing up on a fusion champion. There's been so many fusions over the years that we didn't think that highly of. And then they became really crucial to a lot of accounts after the fact. So it's kind of a bummer that we have to pass up on the actual fusion. It's not like we just get the tokens and then we can go to the token trader and change them in. To me, that would be a really cool way of doing this, right? Kind of like the token trader in and of itself in the Guardian ring. You go there and you just use your tokens to get the champion, but you have to actually pass up on the champion that's active. Again, it's obvious, but that's kind of a bummer, right? And I want to stop and ask you guys really quickly. Would you prefer this whole new system? Or would you prefer just a special event once or twice a year where you can just choose your previous fusion, right? It's like a question mark here and you can fill in the blank. I kind of would have preferred that after thinking more about this system. So let's listen in.
First, you'll need fusion tokens. You can earn one of these every time you complete a fusion without changing the champion out. Once you have fusion tokens, you can change out fusion champions for the ones you've missed previously. Depending on the champion you want to change.
First of all, like value here. They tier off. I don't agree with all of these tiers, but certainly the Newts of the world and the Rhodoses and the Titus, Lady Noelle, some of the more powerful fusions of all time are in the tier 1, which is 3 tokens. You get a token, by the way, just from completing a fusion, okay? A fusion. Here's my second problem. Well, let's get to it when they mention it, okay?
2, the cost will be different. There'll be 3 tiers based on a champion's strength, and changing to them will require either
Mad Hatter, that's my guy. I think he's a value, by the way, at tier 2. I like Granite as well. Stock for the arena can be, and outside the arena, frankly, can be really good as well. So I like some value here in tier 2. I'll make a whole nother video at some point talking about, once we see the entire, champion list and whatnot, talking about who I think are the best values. And again, you can't go after dupes. If you went for the fusion, if you have the champions, you can't go after them, okay? So it's only if you don't have them on your account.
either 1, 2, or 3 fusion tokens. An ongoing fusion event will be required for this feature to be available. You also won't be able to change to a champion that you've already obtained during their original fusion, fragment summon, or via shards. And once you've changed once, that's it. You're committed. You can't change the champion again, so choose wisely.
Here's the problem. Here's the other problem. Fragment summons, right? When you complete a fragment summon, you don't get a fusion token. I don't love that. I don't love that at all, right? Now, I can understand not being able to swap out a fragment summon. I totally get that. Let me be clear. You know, when there's a fragment summon event, you can't swap it out and choose any fragment champion, because how would you know, I can kind of understand how the fragments work. It's a little bit different, although they could do it, I guess, if they wanted to. But when you complete a fragment summon, you should, in my opinion, it's still close to a fusion. You should be able to get still a fusion token, right? But no, you only earn your fusion token by doing a classic, fusion, right? Where you have the epics and the, or a hybrid fusion, but you don't get them from the fragment summons. To me, that's another big downside, right? Okay, one more thing.
Here's some good news, though. If you change the champion out but didn't complete the fusion for whatever reason, any fusion tokens you spent will be refunded. And last...
I do like that, right? I like the fact that if you don't complete the fusion, you don't lose your tokens. So at the end of the day, guys, I'm mixed on this whole thing, right? I'm mixed. Hopefully I've answered some of your questions as well. I think we did a pretty thorough and quick, though, guide at the same time in terms of how this will work. But me, I don't know. I kind of wish they just had a special event a few times a year, right? A new event that came around every so often, like 2X Primals or something, right? Where we can just maybe, they have 9, 10 fusions a year? How about 2 of them once a quarter or something like that? It's just pick your own, right? Choose your own story, choose your own adventure, choose your own fusion. So I don't know, guys. I think between the fact that you lose the fusion you're going for and you could always just pull the damn champion the next day, I know that's the case no matter what. I don't love it. It feels like I like that you don't use your tokens if you don't get them. That would really suck. But I feel like they didn't have to overcomplicate it this much necessarily, make it this arduous. You still have to use all your resources and everything, and it takes a while. It's going to take a while. So, hey, glass half full, they're bringing back old fusions. It will be a big opportunity for a lot of players to get their hands on that new out there, right? That being said, I felt like they could have done it quite a bit better. And, between the fragment summons and just making a special event and you don't get the champion, I don't like those portions of it. How do you guys feel? Hey, ultimately, I'm still excited for a lot of what's coming in Raid, but the fusion system, I'm lukewarm to say the best on. Anyway, guys, that's going to do it for today's video. But actually, there's another video today. I have a collab coming with Nub Raids talking about the champions that we just got wrong. I'll see you in that one in a few hours. Much love, and as always, take care, guys.